across the city near the western gate. Arca, Riven, Kavi, and Yalkish are making their way through the city. Bustling with activity, there are people lining the streets, going about their day-to-day business, but there's tension in the air. Tension due to the rising fear of seeing Leyrid's military might gathering just beyond their walls, as well as anticipation and perhaps a slight spark of, how do you describe it? Perhaps excitement, as with the upcoming coronation of Duke Gabroth, they knew very well that people from all across Edivol would soon be coming to Vaalguard's port, bringing with them trade and new opportunities for the people here in Leyrid. But for now, Arca and Riven, with your two younger companions in tow, make your way through the crowd, and thankfully no one gives you a second look. Arca, while you're likely still wanted for assisting in the Queen's assassination, or so you can only assume, thankfully no one looks much at you. Being an Aarakocra, they may just assume you to be any old Aarakocra that's been around the city for a while. And Riven, being a fresh new face to Vaalguard, no one pays you much mind. And as you approach the western gate, you'll see Nyalkish kind of begins to stop. And she's looking down at her hands as she's messing with kind of the hem of her shirt, her hood drawn up over her head to try and shield most of her identity from the general populace. And you'll hear her say, I don't know if it's going to be a very good idea for me to go out there with you guys.
It's probably for the best, actually. And, Kavi, was it? Maybe you and him should stay inside the city. Arca, you can chime in here whenever you want to.
Yeah, I think that would be for the best. Kavi, if you could keep an eye on the princess for us, and we shouldn't be long.
And Kavi will, bob his head with a big smile and say, yeah, of course. I promised I'd look out for her. And you see, Nyalkish kind of smiles and giggles at that. And, Nyalkish will then say, I'm sorry, I've met, Captain O'Gara before. He's nice. I just don't want me to, I don't know, I guess draw too much attention to you guys, or mess anything up.
You won't mess anything up, but it would be for the best if you weren't identified at this point in time.
Passing by a couple of carts that are making their way out of the city and down the dirt and cobbled road. I'd like you both to make perception checks for me.
Oh boy, first rolls of the night.
Yeah.
Perception. There it is.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay.
That worked out well.
Arca's
Great
taking the ones for us early on in the campaign, or the session.
Yeah.
Needs to do it. Somebody has to take it from the team
now.
Be in the party tank.
No.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Tanking the low rolls.
Taking the ones.
You're walking by. You don't happen to notice this much. You do notice instead, however, that there's this orange butterfly that's suddenly beginning to flutter in front of you both.
My boy.
Uh,
The lad.
me too, Arca.
You've become completely distracted by this, and you watch it as it just seems to hover in front of you specifically, fluttering its wings rapidly. And you lift a claw to kind of swipe at it, and it just dodges out of the way. And, just, roll a d20 for me, Arca.
Oh my goodness.
Just like I'll show you,
Okay,
and just eat the butterfly.
I believe you, Arca.
Oh, no!
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
That's a decent roll.
And so you lift a claw and you swipe, and you hit it. And as you hit it, you watch as this butterfly is swat to the side, and suddenly there, falling upon the ground, is an elf.
Okay.
You look down at him, and you'll see he's, like, got a hand to his head, and it's like, Goats, I knew I had to do it, but that hurt. And you'll recognize him immediately as Runarian, as he, like, pushes himself up into a sitting position. And at this point, Riven, as you hear someone else's voice, you look over, and you don't know where the hell this elf just came from. There's not just an elf here on the ground.
I just, like, look at the elf. Look at Arca. What?
Okay, if I didn't know this is how polymorph works, I'd be like freaking out right now. And Arca is just kind of like, meets one of my friends, Riven.
Runarian rings familiar bells in your head. And you're not entirely sure why, but you're fairly sure you've met this man before. Not in Vaalguard, but somewhere else. But you can't quite place your finger on it, as, the Runarian you're remembering, you thought you remember him being a paladin in shining armor, but this one is dressed in dark leather armor with a red halberd sitting on his back. It's weird to you, but you can't... Something is just not connecting at the moment. They're all in prison at the moment, though from what I heard, they were formulating a plan to get out, so hopefully that's going okay. So yes, here I am. What are you two doing out here?
At the mention of prison, like, Riven sort of, like, their interest is piqued, and they look up from, where they've kind of been absent-mindedly gazing and say, you said you were in prison. Did there happen to be a little goblin in there about yay high? And, like, he kind of stoops to kind of do about the height of Wreck, like, big ears, kind of annoying.
Wow.
And Ari will kind of think about it for a moment, and he'll say, actually, yes, there was a goblin in our cell. What was his name? Started with a V.
Wreck.
Yes. Actually, I think he mentioned having a companion out here in the city.
Oh, yeah. I bet he did. Got himself into a little bit of trouble. And I was going to... Well, Arca and I think we're going to try and get everyone out of prison if we could. We were actually following a lead from Robert. We were meant to talk to Captain... what was his name?
Seamus O'Gara.
Oh,
Yes, that man.
Yes, I know him. All right. Fantastic. I shouldn't be walking into this camp, but you know what? This is what we're going to do. All right.
Would you do you like I don't know. I suppose no, I don't even know.
I mean, we can handle it.
I guess. Okay. Well, the
Well,
good news is a lot of the military is apparently still loyal to your father, so
yes.
probably it'll be okay.
The three of you then will make your way on towards the camp. Hoping that you'll be able to get in so you can talk with Captain O'Gara and continue on towards hopefully rescuing the rest of your friends out of prison. Meanwhile, across the city.
Oh. What we could go from the ship and then see if some of us could get the important people up to the ship first, and then the people we were here to save, and then some of us, I don't know, see if we can sneak back in and reunite with the rest of our party, or maybe find some way to communicate with them.
Does that constitute me staying on whatever boat this is?
Well, we're gonna have to leave out with that boat one way or another, unfortunately.
We could always just put you in a brig if you're so scared of the ocean.
He's going to reach down and grab this goblin by his jacket and lift him up and just be like, "Don't ever even suggest that again."
All right. I was just saying. Just try to be helpful. Can you put me down?
No.
No.
Can you just put a hole in there?
Fred's feet are swaying.
What path do you think is safe? I mean, we're still gonna have to get through the nobles' quarter. I know Fulton said we should go all the way around the city, but it's so long.
It is safer.
And Faldman will kind of pipe up here and say, we can either go through the more or less back entrance out of the Noble's Quarter into the forested area. The only problems we'll run into is just the watchtowers posted from there to the docks, but probably easier to hide in the trees than it's going to be hiding through the entire city. Unless you all think differently.
I think that's probably the safer bet, and it just takes, because we were all kind of put in prison, so one guard, it recognizes us, and it's a problem.
But I have an idea too.
Oh, okay. What's your idea?
Probably really stupid and worse than your idea.
Oh boy.
And he chuckles and he's like, listen, I think at this point any idea is a valid idea.
You know how Vaalguard is reverent for dragons?
Yeah, I kind of got that feeling, yeah.
And he'll kind of look at Fulton for a moment, and then look at Taffy.
Taffy's just sitting there waiting with excitement to see what kind of idea Narshil has.
Hey Fulton, how do you feel about dragons?
And Faldman has been very keen on this conversation as you've been talking back and forth with Taffy.
I bet.
And as you ask him this, you see his eyes light up, and he'll say, He kind of seems to not be sure how to respond at first. And he'll say, well, I actually have a bit of a history with dragons, I guess you could say, before I came to Leyrid. So I'm quite fine with that. You know what? Fine. How about I'll take Vrek and the rest of you can make your way through the city.
Okay, just trying not to fly too fast so I can maintain concentration.
He pulls out a vial. Or I guess more like a half-drinking potion. He's like, "Oh, I have this energy potion. You think that might help?"
Oh my god.
Oh boy!
Please don't give anybody the zoomies, I beg.
Yeah, actually, that would probably help me.
And the next thing you know, Narcellis, you feel amazing. You are so full of energy, like you could go and run all of Vaalguard in like 5 minutes flat.
Oh my god.
Your nausea is gone. You don't feel like you're in any achy kind of pain. You're great. You are so ready to like cast some magic.
Okay. Falvin, you're gonna be a dragon. It's gonna be so great. You're gonna love being a dragon, okay? I'm gonna make you the best dragon that has ever existed. Okay, alright, let's go. And he raises his hands up, and his fingers are, like, shaking as he's, like, trying to think on the description, and he's gonna cast Polymorph.
Where Faldvin once was, now stands a young adult red dragon towering over you all at the shoulder of about 10 feet tall. As you're going, you realize suddenly that Starkin isn't here.
There he goes.
He seems to have run off at some point during the conversation and commotion.
Where's Gwen? Wait.
No, Gwen is still here.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Gwen is still here.
We're going to. Cappy would have been mad.
Yeah.
Gwen
Yeah. No, Gwen is here, and the 6 of you then climb up onto Faldvin's back.
Rex struggles a little to get on top of there, being so short.
Actually, Tappy would probably be the last one on to make sure that everyone else got on first.
Mm-hmm.
Helping everyone else up.
Marcellus is going to hold on to Vrek the way that a child squeezes a stuffed animal.
Oh my god. Vrek is like, I'm resigned to my fate. And I would rather not fall off this dragon, so you know what? We're gonna do what we gotta do. Okay.
Baldwin will kind of let out this deep and like a guttural growl before he throws his head back and lets out this like chest rumbling roar as he pushes. He is. It's great. As he will push himself off of the ground and flap his wings. And soon enough, you all are airborne above the nobles' quarter of Vaalguard. Just a lot of people running about, pointing towards you and screaming. And you see movement along the top of the outer walls of Vaalguard. And you see that the military is beginning to take action, as archers and crossbowmen are kind of looking warily up at the sudden dragon, unsure of whether to attack or not. I guess waiting to see if he'll be aggressive first. Narcellis, you notice, in particular, that over in the Executioner's Square, you see a large tent has been erected, waving the banners of Leyrid and of the royal family. And you see standing there at the entrance of the tent is a very familiar looking black dragonborn with curved horns and rather lavish clothing decorated in reds and golds. And it's been a very long time since you've seen this man, but you watch him staring wide-eyed up at you all and recognize it as Duke Gabroth.
Question before I act on it.
Yeah.
Before I kill this guy.
Is anyone else with him?
You do see... hold on. You do happen to see There's a couple of council members. You see Lord Flaming, who's passed out on his couch.
Yes.
Being fanned by, oddly enough, the two orcs aren't with him. He seems to have gotten new staff. Look to be humans from the distance that you're looking at them from. And you also see a silver dragonborn, which you know to be, Lord Recethus, whom...
Oh, this bitch.
Yeah, whom you haven't had many interactions with, but know him to not be all that great of a guy from what you've heard tales of from Faldvin and Renarian.
Mm-hmm.
And then along with that, with the few military personnel who were hanging out, you see a woman standing there with this very bright blonde curly hair that falls around her shoulders, dressed in full plate armor, mostly silver with lots of golden accents. You haven't ever seen this woman before, but she strikes you as someone very important in the military.
This is it. This is where I'm gonna fuck it up.
Just don't murder Flaming, please. Listen, everyone else is expendable. That's fine.
So, Norsalis is first going to see Duke Gaboth, and he'll kind of pat Faldman's scales for a moment, and be like, hey, new king's down there, if you'd like to give us attention. And looking over everyone else, he'll pause, and I want him to lean back toward Lesh. Mainly because he sees this woman wearing very flamboyant armor, I suppose, very important looking armor. And he's seen other people wear important looking armor in Vaalguard. And he's going to ask, Rush, who is that woman?
And, he'll look down towards her, and Faldvin will also kind of look in the direction you've pointed, Norsalis, and kind of begins to make his way over. And as Resh looks down, his eyebrows kind of furrow for a moment, and he'll say, believe that's Colonel Regath. And you'll hear Faldvin rumble. It's General Regath now.
Wow. Alright. For the moment, he won't do anything right now. His face kind of hardens and he narrows his eyes. But he's going to wait and kind of lean down, well, not down, I guess, up toward Faldvin's giant head and just be like, you should land and have a conversation with him.
I planned on it. And you all can only watch as you're on the back of this dragon as Faldvin soars across the nobles' district, his tail lashing out, and he actually knocks off the head of the giant dragon statue situated in the center of this area. And it lands directly into the wooden construction going on for the Executioner's Square.
Oh, perfect.
Well then, top off.
And he'll soon land clinging to the remains of the statue as his wings spread out almost as far as it does, and gives another mighty roar from his chest to draw the attention to himself. We are actually going to pick this up with these guys over here. And he'll step forward in front of you both, kind of squaring his shoulders. And he'll say, "They're here with me. Captain Runarian Faldvaniel, Paladin of Ilthurin. Please let us through." And at that moment, Riven, you remember this man. You remember about 2 years ago.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Oh god. I don't hate
And you recall a moment when you and Vrek and your half-orc companion that we've not met yet. You recall being in this beautiful decorated church, or temple that had been built by the Order in Afanak. And you remember having this argument, partial fight with your old captain, Captain Splitter. And you recall Ari was there. At the time, with this long orange hair that had fallen down to nearly his knees, and now, looking at it, it's maybe only about half as long. At the time, he'd been wearing full plate armor with the symbol of Vaalguard, or Leyrid, on his chest, wielding a sword and shield, and you realize that's maybe partially why you didn't recognize him was because he just looks now much more roughened up, to put it in simplest terms. This paladin you had met, who you first met after having to bring him this bolt of fabric to make a new vest out of, nowadays looks like he probably wouldn't care what kind of clothing he was wearing. And as he introduces himself with his full title, both of the militia there kind of stand a little straighter, and the Dragonborn will say, "Apologies, Captain, please, right this way. He should be over at his tent." "Thank you." And Ari will just kind of gesture for you both to follow after him as he quickly heads into the encampment.
Wonderful. And yeah, Arco.
Should have led with that.
Yeah, we should have.
And did you say that out loud, Anna? Just asking.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just quietly, well, trying to just say it to Arca, but I'm not quiet, so.
And Ari, just sighs and, says over his shoulder to you guys, "I was hoping not to have to. It's a long story, Riven. It's fine. It's fine."
Okay.
And you head into this encampment, passing soldiers of all sorts, between preparing weapons, or you hear the clacking of wood against wood as you see a few sparring off to the side with some fake wooden swords so as to not hurt themselves. And Ari pretty much heads directly for the captain's tent. And as you approach, and he'll kind of quickly head inside with the two of you. You walk in to the man you had seen earlier, Riven, kind of standing at a table where you see there's a map laid out. And from what you and Arca can see, it looks to be a map of most of Leyrid. Pretty much showing everything from Drake Mound north all the way up to Messy Common, the very snow-covered area to the north of the mainland. And you see this man standing there, looking about his mid-30s, with light blonde hair, cropped very short, wearing his armor with the red dragon crest outlined in gold. And you see he has a couple of people in there with him, and they appear to be kind of poring over this map at the moment, moving a few things around as they discuss amidst themselves. And as soon as you all walk in, the captain will look up, or who you assume is probably Captain Seamus, looks up with a confused expression at first, as he kind of looks between the three of you for some sort of explanation as to who you are or what you're doing here.
Alright, so Arca will, I guess he'll step up and he'll, mention the passphrase that Robert given them again. Hello, I presume you are Gara. We have information, concerning drow movement on the surface.
And Captain O'Gara will straighten his posture, and he'll look at the couple of other guys he had with him and he'll say, "Get out, it's fine." And they'll just mutter quick, "Very well, Captain," as they nod their heads and quickly leave. And he'll look at you, Arca, and he'll motion to the tent flap and say, "Close that, please." As he'll kind of clear off the table of all the stuff he'd had piled on it. And as you close the tent flap, kind of casting you guys mostly in shadow, save for a couple of lanterns that are currently burning with flickering light, Captain O'Gara will look over you all with a very serious expression on his face. And he'll say, "No. You have all met with someone in the city then, I presume?"
We have indeed.
All right. Well, and he'll kind of looks at Ari for a very long moment, and looks at you, Arca, for a very long moment, as if he's trying to read your face. He'll say, You came here to Vaalguard when you two," as he points at Ari and then Arca, "are currently wanted for assisting with the Queen's murder."
Would you believe me if I said that's not the craziest thing we're doing?
And Captain just sighs and runs a hand over his face and says, "Okay, I mean, it's, I suppose it's good you're all here, although it's incredibly dangerous you came walking in here like this, but fine. What is it I can help you with? This is probably not the best time right now."
Probably not, but it's our only chance. As I said, we are doing crazier things. We want to break out General Faldwin.
And he looks at you,
Yes.
and then suddenly laughs, and says, "As if we haven't been working on that for the last month. And yet here we are with most of the military kept out here beyond the walls. There's not much we can do. Unfortunately, those they keep in the city are all incredibly loyal to the new king that's ascending to the throne soon."
No, you said you've been working on a plan, or at least trying to. Then, what have you come up with so far?
He sighs. We'll say we've tried subterfuge, but considering they're keeping him under the castle, it's impossible to get in. So we've been looking for other options, perhaps other passageways that will get us under there, and we've perhaps found something through the sewer, but I haven't been keeping up with it the last couple of weeks, so I don't know how that's been going.
Why haven't you been keeping up with it?
I've been stuck out here, having to pretend I am rallying under, great Royal Duke Gebroth Yorzier to get ready to go to war.
Understandable. Then who's been leading the effort?
Well, with the half of most of our high-ranking officers being arrested, many different ones have come into power. We now have General Sylvia Regath having taken over for Faldvin, which left the High Colonel position open for Captain Vomtis to take.
Vomtis?
Oh no.
Yes, the Blue Dragonborn used to be stationed mostly out in Drake Mound.
Yes, I've had the pleasure of meeting him.
Sorry to hear.
My condolences.
That, and they also arrested our High Magus, and that's been replaced by this piece of work little halfling shit. But that, and more or less, they've thrown them all in prison in the hopes of keeping the rest of the military quiet.
I see.
But... Oh, I'm sorry, Ribbon, if you were
Oh.
gonna say something.
No, I was just going to say, so we obviously met with someone who's helping with the resistance within the city walls. Are there any? How many loyalists are there within Vaalguard?
And he'll kind of give a small shrug and say, it's hard to tell. There are plenty in here who would rather be loyal to Gebroth or to the temple itself before our royal family. Or, sorry, who would rather be loyal to the temple rather than our general. But I'm sure you could very well get most of this military to help you, but they're scared right now, and if you really are set on breaking Cranial out of prison, then you might want to meet up with those who are trying to get in. They'll probably be able to help you.
Yes, that's why we came to you, actually. You were one of our leads on that.
I see. Well, it's good they led you here. Alright, then you'll want to go to, what's that Triton's name? It's a Triton name of, Kivith, I believe. Runs a little inn, used to sit on what used to be the edge of the fishing district.
That guy? Oh, I think I know of him, but wasn't his inn closed?
It's yes and no. It's been shut down, but we still use it to help move things around if we need. So if you go and knock at the back door, he should let you in. And if you are going in there, if they've got some sort of plan worked out, I'd recommend, if you can, try to break some of the military personnel we have down there. If we can get our high-ranking officers back, they can very easily rally this military behind them instead of the council.
I do like the sound of that. Well, I suppose once we've broken a few out, it's easy enough, per se, to start a whole mutiny within the prison.
Exactly, and at that point Ari will ask him, so, who all is down there, then? And he'll say, well, there's... hold on 1 second. I have to find my note. Well, there's, Captain Korgash. He's a Red Dragonborn paladin, been in the military for about 5 years. He was going to lead the 14th Division, which is our largest, as I'm sure you know, Captain, as he kind of looks at Ari. But he, got arrested after he tried speaking up against, Gabroth. Then there's, our former High Magus, Radrin Blackwater, human, looks about his 30s. Did about the same thing, tried to speak up against what was going on, and was arrested for it. And, believe they also... one of the first ones they threw in there was, Colonel, Spilnoriel. And Ari kind of perks up at that, and he says, Cypher. Yes.
Oh.
So if you can at least get those 3 out, you will get a majority of this military to raise a coup, more or less.
Good news, guys.
Good news, guys. Finger guns.
I would just like to take a moment to thank Narshillis.
For real.
Taffy's the one who remembered the military was down there.
Thank you, Taffy.
Yeah, thank you.
For real.
Listen, I just spout random nonsense. All right. Like...
Alright, so we just need to break out 3 leaders of the military, and we're good. Easy. Well, 4, I guess, and then our friends, and it's fine. It's easy. It'll be great.
And as you say this, Arca, you hear this sudden sound in the distance that you haven't ever heard before. Probably neither one of you. But it sounds like a roar almost, like that of a giant beast. And Captain O'Gara kind of looks up with like this wide-eyed expression, and he'll quickly say, what was that? And he'll make his way like past you guys and push out from the tent. And do you follow him?
Oh.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a distraction. Come on. This is exactly what we need.
So the 3 of you make your way outside. And you look back towards Vaalguard. As you come outside, you see a lot of the military personnel are all looking back at the city with this wide-eyed expression. And you 3 kind of follow their gaze. And you see far across the other side of the city, you see the form of a red dragon having taken to the sky above the castle in the Noble's Quarter. And I'd like you two to make perception checks for me.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Perception.
Hell yeah!
Wow!
Oh,
Damn.
Double
Oh.
nat 20s!
Hello. What did I miss?
Double nat 20s on perception!
You know, this is great.
Wow.
Oh.
We're having a great time.
Having a great time. Everybody's just
For
rolling
real.
like hot cakes tonight.
And the two of you see, this dragon taking up out of the sky, but you see something weird on his back.
Oh, great.
It's an incredibly far. I mean, he is above the other side of the city, but you can see figures on his back. Like there's people riding on top of it. At least 6. And oh, yeah. Probably even with your amazing eyesight somehow, Arca, between your incredible bird vision and Riven with your having to look out at the sea vision or something.
Your boat vision.
Your boat vision.
Boat vision!
Arca, the one figure that kind of stands out to you is this kind of cream-colored, like orangey tabaxi that's on the back of this dragon.
Glad I can be used as a beacon of location.
Whereas Riven, you see in someone's arms is a goblin. Who looks very much like the goblin that was arrested that you know.
Hey, look, I found my goblin.
It just sort of mumbles under my breath. Not another dragon.
And Captain O'Gara will quickly turn to the three of you and say, I don't know what's going on, but you three better go.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like
I don't think we're gonna have to break anyone out of jail.
Maybe not, but
yeah.
go.
Just away from here. I don't care where.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, let's go grab Nia and Kavi again.
Okay.
Oh God.
I guess we head back into Vaalguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so taking this opportunity as the entire encampment is suddenly like swallowed in chaos as you hear Captain O'Gara beginning to kind of shout orders at people. You quickly hurry out and head back to the west entrance, where soon enough you manage to find Nia and Kavi, whom had been sitting where they said they'd be. But at this point now, as another roar echoes from the dragon, the entire city seems to be in upheaval.
Oh boy.
And Nia especially, as you three come back to her, as you rejoin them, she'll say, That's a dragon. There haven't been dragons here in centuries.
So funny thing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you.
Fight.
Fight. I think the dragon might have broken our friends out of prison.
Yeah.
What?
You thought too, too, right, Arca? There's like people riding on its
Yeah.
back.
Um.
Somebody is
One
holding
of-
really tight to Breck, and I'm a little scared about that.
Yeah. One of them is. He is. I'm pretty sure it's Taffy.
Oh, well, and then Nia looks like looks like now the dragon has descended, so you can't quite see them now, kind of over the walls that surround the nobles' quarter. But she looks in that direction, looks back at you guys, and she'll say, I mean, then are we going over that way, or?
Oh. And I'll look between Arca and Ari and say, should we? Or, I mean, if I know anything from Breck, it's that he's probably told them that I have a boat, because I do have a boat. And they're probably going to make their way to the boat at some point, so we could always go to the boat now, or we could go to them. I don't know what's going to be the best decision here.
Then I suppose let's head towards the boat. And if we need to think beyond that, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Ari will, nod in agreement. He'll say, I don't know where in the hells they would have got a dragon, but maybe
It's
we'll...
them. It's them.
They'll find a way.
And then Ari seems to kind of have this, look come over his face of realization. He'll say, I think Nashelis might have polymorphed one of them.
Can he do that?
Can he do that?
That's how I was a butterfly, so I mean...
Yeah, but he can polymorph people.
I guess so. I don't know. This is this is going to stir up so much.
Maybe all the more reason to get to the boat.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to assume, but I'm pretty sure you guys are not welcome in Vaalguard, and I'm definitely not going to be welcome here after helping you. So we should probably get to the boat.
Yeah, welcome to our little group.
Welcome to our little group.
And yeah, with that, then the 5 of you will hurry through the city. You know, pushing past people, kind of running this way and that. Everyone, very much aware that there is a dragon in the city. And thankfully, no one gives you a second look in this chaos, as Riven, you lead the way back or out onto the docks of Vaalguard. And everything out here is partially abandoned from people running home in fear, and is still partially kind of business as usual, as a few workers on some of the ships seem to not really be caring much because they have shit to do. And hold on 1 second. Sorry, I just have to, I have to check what... Yeah. Gotta check what ship you guys...
What ship are we about to step on board to?
Oh boy.
And before Ribbon just steals another one.
They will. They will absolutely steal another boat.
I support it.
Thank you. We're trying to get out of Vaalguard.
Yeah.
I still can't believe we both rolled nat 20s.
Right?
That was
What?
fantastic.
Tanking that nat 1 at the start was so
really
worth.
saved us. It really saved us all.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Oh boy.
I'm so scared.
Same, honestly.
Alright, and you'll lead them down to kind of the southern end of the docks where it's a little quieter and over to where your ship sits. And before you,
Wait, real quick.
yes.
Did you read what I sent you before you agreed?
Oh, no, I sure didn't.
You know what? No, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Oh,
I want to hear your reaction to
I
it in
just-
real time. That's fine.
Just want you guys to know whatever this ship is, Ribbon loves it.
Alright, so the once proud schooner bobs forlornly in the water, a pitiful sight that spoke volumes about its better days long gone. Its wooden hull, now weathered and cracked, was painted in a sickly shade of faded gray, a far cry from whatever vibrant colors it had once been. The most striking feature of this schooner is its tattered sails, a woeful shade of purple that had faded into a sort of lavender over the years. These once majestic sails, now torn and ragged, fluttered feebly in the breeze as if they too had given up hope.
Oh my god. Our hero ship, ladies
So-
and gentlemen.
We're fucked.
Please, you gotta keep going. This is a labor of love.
Wait. No, half of this is just a repeat. Hold on.
Oh,
this-
sorry.
No, it's okay. I had to find my spot again. The tears and holes in the sails told a tale of countless battles with the elements, each fray and rip bearing witness to a struggle that the boat had ultimately lost. The schooner's mast leaned at an awkward angle, a stark contrast to the proud, upright stance it must have had in its prime.
Oh my god.
The rigging hung in disarray, resembling a spider's web spun by a disoriented arachnid. Rusty nails and peeling paint further added to the overall dilapidation of this vessel.
So great.
But Riven,
God.
you love this thing.
I love this fucking ship.
This
This
ship
is my
is like-
baby.
yeah, it's your baby, your child, and as you come upon your little schooner here at the end of the dock, you see that your one other crewmate who hadn't come onto shore with you is standing kind of near the front of the ship, looking over in the direction of the noble's quarter. And you'll see Arca. It appears to be a half-orc, but he is tall. At least easily 7 feet, much taller than Ari.
Wow.
His skin is this sort of dull green color that you see his muscled arms are covered in tattoos from the shoulder to his elbows. And he has gray hair that's currently sort of splaying out from his head every which way with a few longer braids running through it. And a sort of rather surprisingly well-kept beard outlining his chin and jaw. He wears a black wolf pelt that kind of sits over his shoulders as a cloak that falls behind him, and otherwise seems to be wearing fairly simple mixture of leather and cloth. And as you approach Riven, he'll look over at you and he'll say, shit, hold on, now I'm suddenly forgetting his voice.
I believe he had a kind of accent like
Yeah.
Southern.
I had to take a second. Captain, What the hell was that?
That, my friend, was a dragon. Another dragon.
Please don't tell me we pissed another one off.
We didn't piss this one off, Jug. But how's work been going on the sales?
He'll kind of like
What
look up
now?
at him. Oh, say that again.
I was like, what now? We'll work on the sales?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Jug will kind of look up at the tattered sails, and you'll see like a few of the holes have been patched at this point with varying shades of purple and red that he's tried to find as close resembling the sail colors as possible. And haphazardly sewn back onto them, and he'll say, well, I got most of the big holes. She should be fine to sail. Where's
Mm.
This is a really good ship, okay?
Even Ari is looking at the ship, and he's just like, I can't believe the ship can even move. Honestly.
It'll move.
So Ari,
It'll move.
Ari,
Yes, Aka.
There's military half ships.
Well, sure. I mean, we have some.
All
we don't
we're
have-
taking
We
a military
really
ship.
don't need to steal
no.
another ship. This ship is perfectly fine.
It's fine. I'm sure. But I guess I will wait here and see what the hell they're all up to when they get here.
And Riven will sort of turn to Jug and say, I know what you're gonna ask. Where is Breck?
I was about to, yes.
He got arrested, but it's fine, because apparently he got broke out by a polymorphed dragon. And what I'm assuming is gonna be our new crew. So, we need to work to get the ship ready so when they get here we can go.
Jug looks at you as if you've grown another head. And he'll just say, honestly, Captain, I know we've been through some shit, but this is ridiculous.
Jug, you're gonna have to be straight with me because I do. What do you mean ridiculous?
You're telling me. I mean, I'm not. God.
Ari.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Ari. I mean, I'm not surprised about Vret getting arrested. I think what's more little unbelievable about this tale is that a dragon broke him out of prison.
To be
Oh.
fair,
Bye-bye.
Who just died?
Say that one more time,
Oh.
Arca. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Sorry,
What
but
was I
I
gonna say?
realized that my mic was not working, like, at all.
Oh,
So I had to be.
welcome
We're
back.
having technical difficulties tonight.
We are.
all good.
but yeah. What was I gonna say?
I thought you had been saying something. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I just forgot what I was going.
Oh,
You know what? Let's just continue.
okay.
Probably.
All right. And oh gosh. Yeah. So what Jug had said. So I'll let you respond, Ribbon.
Listen, Jug, I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but you're right. We've been through a lot of shit together, and we've seen a lot of crazy, weird, probably impossible stuff. So you just have to trust me when I say that somehow this dragon got Breck out of jail. But I'm pretty sure it did. But I'm assuming it's gonna. I'm assuming that it's gonna head over here towards us at some point. So we do have to get the ship ready to go.
And he just like sighs. Aye, aye, Captain. He'll just go to...
PM. I sent you a question real quick. Sorry about that.
Well, this ship is safe.
Oh, it's perfectly safe. It is one of the best ships. It has gotten us through the God's Eye so many times.
Through the
And-
God's eye.
Please don't lie.
Well, like around the God's Eye. You know, it's just it's a complicated. You know, the God's Eye is very complicated, but.
And for a moment, you guys hear a sudden creaking. Not the creaking coming from like the ship bobbing in the water, but like something opening nearby. And you glance over, and for a brief moment, you see like part of a face looking out from one of the open doorways that leads below deck. And you see this face is completely white, with large, completely white eyes surrounded in sort of these round black markings, and, you know, kind of a small nose and mouth, and stark white hair. And he seems to kind of look at you all, and as soon as you notice him, he has just this odd look on his face. Like, Riven, you especially notice he looks uncomfortable, though it's always been hard to read his expressions, and then he quickly vanishes back inside.
Oh, okay. And I'll turn to Runarian and Arca and Neilkish and Kavi, and I'll say, I don't reckon any of you guys have been on a ship before, or maybe some of you know anything about sailing vessels.
We have been on a ship.
Okay. Start working on stuff.
Wow, so specific. 10 out of 10.
And Ari will say, I mean, I've been on a ship. I can't say I've ever helped it sail, but I'll help however I can. And Jug will kind of walk over to you guys, appearing just so incredibly tall, standing here next to you, especially with the fact that he is towering over Ari. And he'll say, well, if either y'all want to help, I can give you a couple of easy tasks to go work on.
Okay. Oh, you are super tall, by the way.
Yeah, I got it from my mom.
Damn.
Alright, let's go. And he'll kind of like motion for you guys to come and follow him across the deck as Kavi and Nalkish will kind of wander off to go poke around.
Yeah, I love that Riven didn't even mention to his own crew members, by the way, we have a princess.
He sure did. It's fine.
No, he did not.
It's not important.
You know,
I'll find out.
I'm sure it'll come up later.
It will. It will definitely come up later. I think Riven's just a little preoccupied by the fact that there's a dragon in the sky.
You know what? That's valid of him, honestly. Here, sorry, give
Things
me
I
like...
wasn't expecting this session. Baldwin as a dragon.
Right.
It's to ride him. That's so cool.
We can do introductions later once we're, you know, semi away from Vaalguard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Okay. Sorry, just trying to fix something here before I continue. Okay. That's fine. Oh, hello, God. Okay. Okay. across the city, back in the nobles' quarter.
Oh, baby.
This looks beautiful.
Thanks. The six of you, still upon Faldvin's back as he lands and clings onto the red dragon statue that sat within this massive courtyard. The head having been knocked off by him, and ruining now the executioner's, I don't know what to call it, stand? I don't know.
Sure.
Sure, the wooden executioner stand they'd been setting up, now destroyed, thanks to the stone head falling directly onto it. And you'll see, many people are running away, as they probably rightfully should, whereas you'll see, Gibroth, the councilman, Lord Racethus, and General Regath kind of stand their ground. Though Duke Gibroth is not looking entirely happy.
Gee.
And
I'm so sad he's not happy. Oh no.
as like a quick side note, by the way, I had made a mistake earlier. Colonel Regath actually has black hair instead of blonde. That was my bad. Either way,
It just shifts in front of us in real time.
it's fine. It's great.
Another changeling!
And you'll see oh god, it would be her. General Regath approaches first and kind of steps up to the remains of the wooden construction at the base of the statue, and she looks up at the dragon and up at the six of you on its back, as one hand kind of rests at the sword at her side. And she'll call up and say, "What is your business here?" And you can feel like Faldvin rumbling as he speaks. And I had a name for him, and it's gone. I'm not calling him Falgren or whatever the hell you guys have been going on about in Discord.
Vaalguard? Come on.
Hold on, I might have it.
Rargrin.
Oh.
Oh god.
Please. He needs a dragon name.
He does, yes.
Go Falcon.
Here you go. Sorry, Hunter.
Okay.
There.
Oh my god. And you'll hear Faldvin say, "My name is Eshkidru. I am one of the great-grandchildren of yours here. I have come here at the behest of Princess Nyalke." And you'll see, the Regath narrows her eyes. And, as he'll continue, "I have come to stop this madness." And, I don't know, before he continues, is there anything you guys would like to say, or how's everyone feeling at
Don't
the
ask
moment?
that question.
Oh man.
Don't ask
Yeah.
that question. Just
Okay,
don't
I
ask.
will.
No.
Yeah, Taffy's fine. He's kind of like
Tappy's doing great.
Low profile, kind of puts his hood up as he sees the guards kind of like, on the wall and everything beforehand. He's just trying to, he's gonna let Falva do his thing here.
Nurtulis is loosening his grip on Breck and kind of glaring daggers at this woman.
So valid of him.
Breck is just vibing. And by vibing, he's like, I want to go as fast as possible. Please, let's get out of here.
And General Regath will call up to Eshkadru and say, well, I am hard-pressed to believe such a story, considering the princess was taken into the Underdark and has been presumed dead.
Marcellus is gonna say something.
Uh-huh.
Here we go.
He's going to say, I find that hard to believe, considering that I was the one who took her there, and subsequently brought her back.
And General Regath will look at you, Narcellus, and
Waves fingers.
This look of realization kind of comes over her face. As you see, she suddenly unsheaths her sword and, like, raises it up beside her as a sort of signal, and I'll have all of you make a perception checks for me.
Oh boy.
Love it. Perception.
Oh, baby.
Ooh, Taffy,
Nice.
what happened?
Taffy, you, at the very least, you're still aware that many of the military within the city are beginning to gather. A lot of the civilians have kind of cleared the area, and you see a lot more armored people kind of beginning to close in on you guys, and you'll still see there's those standing atop the walls, their crossbows and bows ready, and many of them seem to kind of shift their position as you see General Regath raise her sword. And Narcellus and Vrek, you guys are also very acutely aware that there are a lot of eyes on you at the moment, and you notice that on one of the outer walls of the Noble's Quarter, you see there's, in one of the watchtowers, they have set up this rather large, what's it called? Hold on. This large ballista that they seem to be aiming at you guys at the moment.
Oh shit.
And
Got it.
General Regath, to your words, Narcellus, will say, hard to believe the words of a drow when the princess is not even with you. I'm sure whatever lizard you're on top of right now isn't even real.
And he'll pause and kind of look back at Taffy for a minute, and he's gonna shift his gaze to Duke Gabroth. And, God, this is a last-ditch effort. He's going to say, essentially, I find you may have wanted your sister-in-law dead, but I find it very hard to believe that you would also let Minister Yakan try to murder your niece.
And Gabroth, at that, his eyes, widen. Already, he's been looking up at Faldwin, or Eshkadru, with this look of shock and almost some sort of reverence, as he perhaps might have been believing that this is a real dragon here in Vaalguard. And, at your words, Norcellis, he, like, sort of squares his shoulders and clenches his hands into fists. As he'll say, what are you talking about?
Let's see here. Boop.
No, go for it.
Okay.
Oh.
So, Taffy, seeing that he's all surrounded, jumps up, pulls his hood off, sort of balancing on the back of Alvin. He's like, "It's true. I can corroborate everything that corroborate everything that this that my friend here is saying. The princess is indeed alive. We've brought her back safe and sound, and in fact, this is why we've been given aid by this dragon of our, ally of ours."
And at that, is Taffy finished?
Yeah, Taffy's done.
At that, he will say, "A knight that you likely know, Lunarian Vaniel, is the one who rescued Melkish and brought her to us to protect from the minister who was going to have her killed. Now, something tells me, Your Majesty, that you know exactly what I mean when I say that the minister is capable of something like this."
And as you mentioned, Minister Yakan, the Duke kind of seems to shift a little uncomfortably. And at that moment, someone else walks out of the large tent that had been constructed here in the square.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's an older man with thinning hair and wearing black robes that are emblazoned with the sun symbol of Sophis on the chest. And he looks up at you all, his hands just folded very neatly behind him, his thin lips brought up in this sort of smug smile. As he will say, "Well, I certainly have no idea what it is you all are talking about. We were simply looking out for the princess's safety."
Oh, well.
Kayla, I'm gonna... sorry, Starion, I'm gonna send you something.
Uh-huh.
Lad himself. By the way, can I basically... Tappy would like to ready an action, not to attack anybody, but to basically maneuver in between, like, he has no idea what's going on in the tower, but, the guards with the crossbows and everything, he's sort of on alert, waiting for if something gets fired, if he can jump in the way between Norcellis and whatever's coming in.
Yeah, I'll let you ready that. As Taffy balancing on the back of Faldvin, kind of ready to, like, jump at a moment's notice. And, at Minister Yakan's words, you'll hear, Faldvin speak up, as he'll say, sorry, give me 1 second.
No problem.
And so Faldvin suddenly raising his voice, will say, "Enough! I am not here to play games with you mortals. You will stop this nonsense and allow the one who should rightfully sit upon the throne to take her rightful place." And Minister Yakan is entirely unbothered at this, and all of you, sitting upon Faldvin's back, you feel his scales kind of beginning to grow warmer.
Here we go.
Oh god.
And Minister Yakan is just still smiling, and he'll say, "Well, if you can produce the princess, then perhaps we can arrange something agreeable."
Marcellus is immediately going to say something similar to what you did to the fishing district.
And General Regath, who still is holding her sword aloft, will respond with that by saying, "Oh god, this is gonna be really bad.
Hello?
Sorry, give me one
Oh,
second.
it just got really quiet.
It's being crafted. The insult.
I'm so hurt.
And so General Regath, still holding her sword aloft, will say, "They deserved it. This city has been infected with underscum for long enough, so we took care of that problem."
Oh, you idiot.
He's immediately going to swing a leg over Foldman to try and sit down.
Oh no!
And
God.
so
Rush,
at
grab
this-
your brother!
And as soon as you try to move, Narcellus, is being on top of the statue, you're probably a
Statue.
Yeah, well, you're on top of Foldvin, and he's like on top of the statue.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
That would be
So
kind of a
considering where Faldvin is, you're at least a good 20 feet off the ground right now. If not, probably a little more.
Mhm.
And as you move to swing your leg over, you will feel arms wrap around your waist as Resh grabs you.
He just starts, like, pulling at his arm, and you just hear, let me go.
Make a strength check for me.
Oh god.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll take it. It's fine. But I mean, even as he like pushes and doesn't manage to break out of it, he's gonna raise up one of his hands toward Regath.
oh boy.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
And he's going to curl a couple of his fingers inward, and this sort of like red glowing light will start to manifest at the tip of his fingers. And he waits. He waits. And he's just looking at her. Go ahead.
So,
Yeah, go ahead, Taffy.
Okay, first of all, can Taffy see this happening?
I mean, yeah,
I believe so, yeah, because I think Taffy is behind Narcellus, so yeah.
Then Taffy, getting a little concerned that Narcellus might become a target, he kind of sighs nervously, and as fast as he can, he's going to. This is going to get him killed. Pull out his speed bow, knock an arrow, and point it right at what's her nugget? Who just said that?
Death.
Yeah,
General Regath.
General
Yeah.
Regath, yeah. Sorry, it takes me a minute with names. And he's like, I need a good quip for this. Oh, here we go. You can't just kill people in mass like that. You can call them whatever you want, but at the end of the day, they're still people just like us. Now, I don't give a shit whether or not you view them lesser than others, but all you're doing is perpetuating a cycle. And if that's what you're going to do, then we're going to have problems. You understand? As he points this arrow, he's trying to get attention on himself, is what he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm. And Regath will like look at you, Taffy. She'll say, gosh, what? She'll say, "Go ahead. I dare you. See how fast I will shoot you down."
Is Taffy gonna say something?
No, he's just narrowing his eyes right now. He's sort of glancing between the general and Narcellus, but he hasn't fired yet. He's just holding his aim.
So Narcellus is also keeping his fireball aim at Regath specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Not casting yet. But he is going to look back at Duke Gabroth and he's going to say, "Is this what you wanted? This is the kind of king that you wanted to be? But murdering your own constituents because what? You want to perpetuate a war, you want a throne, sure, fine. But you're letting the ministry, these people, dictate your own people, the people who live in this city and work for you, who gets to live and die. What exactly makes you any different from the people you hate?"
Ooh. It's so good.
Damn.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Oh, it's on the card. 1 sec.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Everything's on the card. There you go.
Thank you. So, as you say these things to him, Duke Gabroth kind of, his shoulders kind of seem to slump as his gaze goes from like Ministry Khan to General Regath and back up to you guys. And he'll say, there were certain things that I wished for Leyrid to move beyond. Yet, everything has gotten out of my control.
You're the king. Order them to stop.
And
I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
oh, I'm sorry.
He says, "Your niece is alive. And the only thing that she's worried about, for some damn reason, believe it or not, are you and her brothers."
And Duke Broth will look over at Regath, who's got her eyes kind of glued very securely to all of you. And he'll kind of like grit his teeth for a moment before saying, lower your weapon, General. And you'll see Regath looks over at him from the corners of her eyes. Looks back up at the six of you on top of Faldvin. And everything just goes very quiet for a long moment. Or, oh god, no, I gotta do this. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, after a long moment, she lowers her sword. Very slowly. Back down to her side. Still gripped very tightly in her hand.
Taffy will lower his bow. Still ready to jump in the front of, you know, incoming fire, but he will not aim. You know, he de-escalates.
And, you know, Gabroth will kind of look from her back to Minister Khan, who Minister Khan is not quite smiling as much as he was a few moments ago.
Oh, I bet.
I have a question.
And yes, what's up?
I don't suppose there's a crowd. It's just them. I mean, I guess all the soldiers are around.
There is somewhat of a crowd. I mean, most of the people had run away from you all at first, and the closest to you now are mostly military. But you see kind of farther out, maybe watching from the safety of like their homes or just a safe distance away, people kind of have started to gather and have been kind of observing all of this as it's been going on.
Okay. Just making sure there's, you know, eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, yeah, at that, then, Faldvin will kind of lift his head and, you know, kind of looking down at all of them down on below you guys. And he will say, when the princess returns, I expect her to take her rightful place. And General Regath looks pissed, more or less. And it looks like she wants to say something, but she doesn't at this point. But the Gabroth will say, I will see what can be done. And oh, God. And with that, Faldvin is going to spread his wings
Mhm.
and jump up off of the statue that he'd perched upon.
What?
Yeah, sit down, Taffy.
Yeah, Taffy, you quickly take your seat again
Just
before you fall off.
Superman just belly flops onto the. It's like, oh god.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, with another loud roar, you know, ripping out of his chest, Faldwin will turn and begin flying towards the docks.
Oh man,
As-
now we gotta find a place for him to transform that nobody else can see. Dive into the water!
It's gonna be
Yeah.
so much fun, guys. We're having so much fun.
Yeah, honestly, the water's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It would definitely break concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Marcellus will lower his fireball case.
I guess. Oh.
He doesn't wanna.
Mm-hmm. And once you guys are moving again, Resh will, let you go, Narshalis, now that he doesn't have to be worried about you jumping off the back of this dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
They'll have words later.
And, yeah, I guess, is there anything you guys would like to say as you soar over the city of Vaalguard?
At the moment, Taffy's just amazed that worked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't suppose all of the guards that were imprisoned have been released yet, have they?
Well, make a perception check.
Oh boy.
Ooh, 18. So, as Faldvin carries you all towards the docks, as he seems uninterested at this point in kind of going by to attack any of the sort of military stuff that might be around the city or nearby, you do kind of get a fairly good look at the back of the castle in the nobles' quarter, around where you guys had come out of from the prison. And you do see a couple of people kind of hanging around down there.
Mm-hmm.
You do see one that looks familiar to you, with tan skin and blonde hair that's pulled up in a bun to reveal the very pointed ears on the sides of her head. And even kind of from the height that you have currently, you recognize that as Sypha, whom was a wood elf you all had met back in Eastoft. She kind of seems to be, coming out from the doorway you all had used, with a few other people behind her.
Oh, excellent. The Taffy kind of calls out from the back, is like, that actually worked. I hope. We just gotta turn the princess back over to her, we're doing the right thing, right?
Does Marcellus or Freck want to respond? You're fine.
Marcellus is just kind of looking ahead towards the docks as they're going. He just kind of says, because they're in the sky right now.
Yes.
Yeah, you're flying for the docks, yeah.
So he's going to look back at Taffy and then point towards the remnants of the fishing district. And he'll say, I don't really think there is a right thing in this situation.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just a little worried about her.
All of these people can rot for all I care.
And Taffy, he doesn't have anything else to say to that.
Yeah, it's a little, but that's fine.
And, you'll hear Faldman kind of speak up, and he'll say, Rick, which one of these ships is yours?
Do you see the shittiest one there?
Oh,
that one.
Yeah, funny thing is, the one that looks like it's about to fall to pieces. That's
What?
the one. Hey, hold on, just
Wait,
hear me
what
out.
do you mean? What do you mean it's gonna fall? What do you mean it's gonna fall to pieces?
No, hear me out. We have a ship, alright? And he's gonna take a look.
Fall to pieces? What?
No, hold on.
Like it's broken? Like it's gonna break?
It's not broken per se, but it is a ship. He's gonna turn away.
He looks over at the wharf and he'll be like, okay, point out which one is it.
Vert takes a moment to look out at the docks. Then he
And-
points up. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's you'll see it at the very end of the dock with its tattered purple sails and battered wooden sides.
There it is, the one with the tattered purple sails.
Nershalis' concentration is hanging on by a thread,
Oh god.
and he just starts to hyperventilate and freak out.
Oh god, no, it's gonna be 5. It's gonna be 5.
And you're struggling to keep your concentration. Fulvin begins to kind of quickly descend, at least as fast as he's able to,
Whoa!
down towards the docks. And that is where we're going to wrap up for the evening.
Oh my god, I didn't even get to meet Revan yet.
Not
No, next
so
time.
close.